Our assessment of politicians is torn between hope and disappointment. We seem torn between our idealistic hopes and our cynicism of the reality of contemporary politics. But perhaps, once we understand what constitutes a good leader, we will be clearer about what we want our politicians to be. The goal of this video is to give future world leaders the knowledge and understanding they need to make important decisions. Knowledge of philosophy will help them judge on their own if their policy is truly the correct approach. Firstly, a free leader of a free people must possess 4 critical qualities: a bedrock of principles, a moral compass, a vision, and the ability to build a consensus to achieve that vision. A good leader builds their platform on a foundation of firm, unchanging fundamental virtues. These are the things they believe at their very core, their overarching philosophy. Just as in the foundation of a house, storms may buffet the structure, opposition and challenges may arise. Times will change, but the foundation remains. A leader may change the details of their policies and their methods for achieving those policies, but only inasmuch as those short-term tactics of expediency serve the purpose of furthering your bedrock of principles in the long run. While modern politicians often make decisions by gauging the public mood, a good leader does not govern by public opinion polls. The true leader makes their decisions by following the dictates of their own moral compass. They are not moral relativists. They believe in absolute truths, and their moral compass is rooted in a sense of absolute right and absolute wrong. When something is wrong, they plainly say it is wrong and do everything in their power to fight against it. When something is right, they are willing to overcome any opposition to preserve and spread it. The good leader is ambitious. They must be to obtain a position of power, but there are things that they simply will and will not do to get to the top. They have integrity. They speak the truth. They lead by moral authority and represent all that is best in their countrymen. A good leader has a clear vision of what their country and its people can become. They know where they want to take them and what it will take to get there. The good leader's foresight is one of their most important qualities, as they must be able to recognize problems on the horizon and be able to come up with solutions that are not only good for the short term, but for the long term as well. The good leader keeps in mind not only the here and now, but the world future generations will inherit. A politician may have a bedrock of principles, a moral compass, and a vision, but if they lack the ability to build a consensus around their vision, their efforts to change policies, laws, and the course of history will largely be in vain. The ability to build a consensus to achieve a vision is perhaps the most precarious of these 4 qualities. No doubt it is the most difficult to achieve, and this is where we see the split between morality and politics. The father of political science, Machiavelli, was preoccupied by a fundamental problem in politics. Is it possible to be a good politician and a good person at the same time? And he has the courage to face the tragic possibility that given how the world really is, the answer is clearly no. This does not, however, negate the need for strong morals, but it proposes that compromises must occasionally be made, if and only if they further your vision. Machiavelli proposed that the overwhelming responsibility of a leader of a country is to defend the state from external and internal threats to stable governance. This means that they must know how to fight, but more importantly, they must know about their reputation and the management of those around them. People should neither think they're soft and easy to disobey, nor should they find them so cruel that they disgust their society. They should seem unapproachably strict but reasonable. When he turned to the question of whether it was better for a leader to be loved or feared, Machiavelli wrote that while it would theoretically be wonderful for a leader to be both loved and obeyed, they should always err on the side of inspiring terror, for this is what ultimately keeps people in check. He writes that we cannot be good at or for all things. We must pick which fields we want to excel in and let the others fall by the wayside. Not only because of our limited abilities and resources, but also because of the conflicts within moral codes. Some of the fields we choose, if not being a leader of a country, then perhaps business or family life, or other forms of loyalty and responsibility, may require what we evasively call difficult decisions, by which we really mean ethical trade-offs. We may have to sacrifice our ideal visions of kindness for the sake of practical effectiveness. We may have to lie in order to keep a relationship afloat. We may have to ignore the feelings of the workforce in order to keep a business going. That, insists Machiavelli, is the price of dealing with the world as it really is, not as we feel it should be.